I'm extremely embarrassed. I regret that I'm standing here in front of you in this type of situation.
Here's one picture 49ers quarterback Jeff Garcia certainly does not want in the paper.
More on that story in 7 minutes. But first tonight, one city's fight to know if sexual predators will be released in their community. It could lead to changes in the law.
KRON 4's Jesse Gary is live in Martinez with tonight's top story. Jesse.
Pam and Wendy, this police department is taking steps to protect their community, and that could affect your community. On the recommendation of the police chief, the city council is in session right through this curtain, right inside this building, all debating the fate of one man. He has been chemically castrated and completed the state's release program. Yet ex-con and one-time sexual predator Carrie Verse still doesn't have a place to live. And if the Martinez City Council has its way, moving day will come with a 15-day advance notice.
To give at least communities a voice in the process that they don't have now.
For the past 2 months, City Police Chief Dave Kataya and company have been crafting potential changes to Megan's Law, the legislation that governs the release of sexual predators.
We are not even allowed to get an address where one of these folks may be placed.
Under current state law, communities receive no advance notification. A convicted sexual predator has finished serving their time and will be released. Additionally, the presiding judge isn't required to consider recommendations from local law enforcement. The Martinez resolution would mandate a magistrate consider views from local lawmen, as well as give advance notice of a release into the community 15 days beforehand.
They'll be amending Megan's Law in several different ways this spring, hopefully, through Assemblymember Parra, and we're trying to get into that packet of legislation.
Some longtime natives hail the effort.
I think it's an excellent idea, especially when we've seen in other communities examples of where registered sex offenders were released into that community and people didn't know.
Carrie Verse has a string of sexual assaults stretching back to the age of 17. He is currently at the Atascadero State Hospital on the Central Coast.
What would you like them to know?
The similar release of Brian DeVries last year first brought this issue to the forefront. But Chief Kataya says ultimately the issue is safety for the public and the offender.
I just don't feel there's enough notice or enough information that's given to law enforcement in this situation.
Back live at Martinez City Hall. Just to be clear, this is a city resolution which must first pass the council before it could have any impact on the state legislature. We'll let you know at 11 if the resolution does in fact pass. And we're live at Martinez City Hall tonight. Jesse Gary, KRON 4 News. We'll head back to you.
Thank you, Jesse. There is breaking news in the East Bay at this hour. Rescue crews report that a car has gone off of a cliff in the Oakland-Berkeley Hills near Claremont and Fish Ranch Road. We're hearing that the driver may have contacted police from his or her cell phone and has minor injuries, but may need to be carried out because of the rough terrain in that area. We have a crew on the way, and we'll bring you an update if we get any additional information during this newscast.
In the South Bay, what is believed to have started as a home invasion robbery turned deadly. And tonight, the search is on for the killers. It happened in San Jose on Washington Street between 10th and 11th. KRON 4's Ross Palumbo is there and joins us live. Ross?
Well, Wendy, cops came to this home at around 10 o'clock this morning, apparently after residents called them and said two people were trying to get inside the front door. By the time officers did get to the door themselves, they found one person dead, another critically injured. And then during the next 9 hours of investigating, officers had to go to dozens of more doors throughout this neighborhood.
I heard a lot of cars, a lot of people outside. Maybe we'll find out what happened. So I looked out the window and I saw a ton of police officers here.
As neighbor David Vargas sat staring this morning.
Well, because my son was here, I was afraid.
In this San Jose home, officers discovered one man shot to death, another critically injured.
Then there was like 20 SWAT guys that came in.
SWAT immediately began searching for two suspects.
We have one person saying that they fled on foot, and that's why we did a really slow, methodical search through the area north of here.
Police barricaded off an entire square block and then began scouring each individual home.
Asked me if I saw anything, if I noticed anything weird.
They found nothing in Vargas's home.
Oh, jeez.
And in Gloria Santa Maria's, the only thing they found was fear.
Yes, I was scary.
Kind of scary.
Down the street, students, including Janet Eaton's daughter, were locked down in Grant Elementary.
Yeah, I was scared because I wanted my mommy.
But after one tense hour with no suspects in sight, the immediate search was called off.
Everyone remained calm and everyone was safe. So we wanted to make sure everyone else in this neighborhood was secure.
Police say it may have all started with a home invasion, but several families may be living here, including this woman.
No.
And tonight, they're having a hard time clearing up the confusion.
Right now, we don't have a motive. I know everyone's saying home invasion robbery. We don't know that. We don't know the dynamics of this family.
Neighbors say they barely knew them too.
It's always quiet around here.
But after what they saw tonight, they're looking closely at everyone on the block.
I'm going to be a little more on the defense as far as keeping an eye on who's driving by or, you know, things like that.
Well, the surviving victim is still in critical condition tonight. As for the two suspects, they're still on the loose. The only information we have about them is that both of them were apparently last seen driving a car very similar to this, a Ford Taurus, but this one was cream in color. Cops are asking if you have any information to call them right away. For now, that's the very latest live in San Jose. I'm Ross Palumbo, KRON 4 News.
Thank you, Ross. The double murder charges against Scott Peterson will stand. A Stanislaus County judge today rejected a defense motion to throw out those charges. Defense attorneys had argued prosecutors did not present enough evidence during a preliminary hearing back in November to merit holding their client over for trial. Peterson's trial is currently scheduled to begin January 26th. The judge decided last Thursday to move the trial out of Modesto, and a hearing is set for next week to determine where that trial will be held.
Here in the Bay Area, car thefts in San Ramon are up, way up. They've almost doubled from this time last year. The police admit that a car is stolen in San Ramon practically every night. And it's not just cars on the street either. Thieves have actually broken into locked garages to steal cars. The police are stepping up patrols.
Well, some advice to lead-footed drivers. The Highway Patrol is looking for you. New at 9 tonight, Teresa Estacio is in Marin County, where you should check your rear view mirror before you put the pedal to the metal. Teresa.
Well, hi, Pam. You know, the California Highway Patrol is calling it a zero-tolerance policy when it comes to those speeding out on 101 here in Marin County. They're going to be using an assortment of equipment, including something called a LiDAR, which is a laser device. So before you get behind the wheel of a car and head to Marin County, beware. Look out if you plan to speed in Marin County. The California Highway Patrol is out to find you.
Speeding has always been a problem. We've found that speed is involved in the majority of accidents and also many of our fatal accidents.
So to tackle the problem, the department is launching an aggressive campaign, assigning teams of officers equipped with laser devices, aircraft, and radar to crack down on those breaking the law. This past holiday season, the team targeted the Golden Gate Bridge.
Most recently, the Golden Gate Bridge is an area we've been heavily focusing on with the use of LiDAR. Over the Christmas holiday, we issued upwards of 250 citations. Last weekend alone, we issued over 80 citations on the Golden Gate Bridge.
We do have heavy traffic during commute hours, but in non-commute hours, we do have definite problem areas where people drive 10, 15 miles, 20 miles an hour over the speed limit regularly.
Besides special teams, individual officers are also paying closer attention to errant drivers. Meet CHP officer Kevin Giannani.
Highway 37 is one of the roadways that we do have a lot of problems with speed on.
If you do get caught, again, a warning to the wise. It is going to cost you. Each county is unique, but in Marin, if you drive 1 to 15 miles per hour over the limit, a ticket can reach $96. 16 to 25 miles per hour, the penalty can jump up to $170, and over 25 miles per hour, the fine goes up to $340. Also, officers plan to crack down on those failing to obey seatbelt laws as well, all in an effort to try and keep the highways safe. And listen to this. As far as those seatbelt violations, the fines went up in 2004. First-time offenders, it went from $20 to $41, and second-time offenders, that has gone up from $50 to $106. That is the latest here. Next to 101, I'm Teresa Stasio, KRON 4 News.
Thanks, Teresa. An embarrassed Jeff Garcia apologizes after his arrest on drunk driving charges. The 49ers quarterback star was understandably somber when he faced reporters this afternoon at the team's headquarters in Santa Clara. KRON 4's Rob Flatibo was there.
First of all, I regret that I'm standing here in front of you in this type of situation.
It was an uncharacteristically soft-spoken Jeff Garcia who met with reporters late today, only hours after being released from jail.
I'm extremely embarrassed for my family, for the San Francisco 49er organization, and for something like this.
Garcia reportedly attended last night's Sharks game, where he sat next to a San Jose police officer. After the game, Garcia was seen here at the Mission Ale House on Santa Clara Street.
A couple of my friends from work decided to go out and have a couple of drinks, and then that's when everyone ran into Jeff Garcia just dancing, partying with a couple of girls, and it was pretty funny.
He was not doing anything out of the ordinary or in any way that would seem like he was abusing alcohol or really having a problem.
Later still, Garcia was spotted driving erratically down 2nd Street near San Jose State. University police stopped and arrested Garcia next door to Nick Barrita's restaurant.
And I saw a whole bunch of people out here, creating a commotion. They were saying, "Let him go, it's not fair."
The Niners quarterback was booked into the Santa Clara County Jail on suspicion of driving under the influence. He was released this morning and then whisked away in a black SUV.
Yeah, any comment from KCBS? How about the DUI charge? Jeff Garcia, can you comment? How much were you drinking?
This is something that in no way, at least I hope, becomes a distraction to my teammates or the San Francisco 49er organization.
Most athletes have a kind of good behavior clause in their contracts, and Jeff Garcia is no exception. Just what effect this will have on his job and career is unclear at this point. The Gilroy native would take no questions on the advice of his attorneys. In Santa Clara, Rob Flattabo, KRON 4 News.
We are just getting word tonight that a well-known Democrat is dropping out of the presidential race.
Plus, when billion-dollar robots on Mars just aren't good enough. Tonight, the president outlines his plan to carry mankind deep into the cosmos, but at what cost?
Guilty ×2 tonight, why the Enron scandal may be exposed even more in the days to come.
Birds fly, but not these. Even if you're a pilot who's now paying big for his unfriendly gesture. We'll tell you how this started.
And keep your hands and feet inside at all times. Coming up, Doug McConnell previews tonight's Bay Area Backroads Great Adventures. Next on KRON.
Are you ready for a heart-pounding, head-spinning bite of adventure?
Oh, my God.
The Bay Area Backroads Great Adventures. Tonight at 10 on KRON 4, the Bay Area's news station.
I want my baby back. Chili's baby back ribs. I want my Chili's baby back ribs.
Chili's legendary mesquite smoked double-basted baby back ribs.
I got my baby back ribs.
Only one full-size pickup is engineered with automatic rear locking differential. And it's not the new Ford F-150. It's the GMC Sierra. It puts more traction where you need it. Get a Sierra California edition with a light-duty power pack, including 5.3-liter V8 HD trailering and more, and get a $2,000 discount. Add the discounted cash back for a total value of $4,500. See the pros at your Northern California GMC dealers.
We carry thousands of clocks, but I could still use more time, especially when it comes to paying bills.
Introducing the Platinum Business Credit Card, an American Express card that lets small businesses pay over time.
When bills come in, it's nice to know the clock isn't ticking.
Apply now. There's no annual fee, no interest for the first 9 months, plus the benefits of Open, the small business network.
It's great getting more time without having to wind something up.
The Platinum Business Credit Card. Call 1-800-NOW-OPEN to apply.
The 260 horsepower Infiniti G35. One of KRON Driver's 10 best for 2 years running. A dream to drive. The Infiniti G35.
Here's a little taste of something different.
Introducing Chili's Shanghai Boneless Wings. Toasted sesame seeds, ginger citrus glaze, creamy wasabi ranch dressing, and no bones. Want more flavor?
I love Chili's.
Tonight at 11, the defense in Scott Peterson's murder trial presents a theory of how Laci Peterson was killed.
And the president wants to go. A new poll reveals how Americans feel about a trip to Mars and beyond. Tonight on KRON 4 News at 11.
From the Neighborhood Weather Center, here is your first forecast for San Francisco.
He says rovers and robots can only do so much. President Bush unveiled his plans today for a manned mission to Mars. Tom Sinkovitz is here to explain why babies born this year may be just the right age to take part. Tom?
In the year 2030, they'll be turning 26, and that's about when President Bush expects NASA will be ready for the next giant step in space exploration.
We do not know where this journey will end, yet we know this: human beings are headed into the cosmos.
At NASA headquarters in Washington, the president laid out his vision for the next 30 years.
We will build new ships to carry man forward into the universe, to gain a new foothold on the moon, and to prepare for new journeys to the worlds beyond our own.
By the end of this decade, he wants the International Space Station completed and the shuttle fleet replaced by a new spacecraft called a Crew Exploration Vehicle. By the year 2015, it is due to be carrying astronauts back to the moon. There, they will build a base as a springboard to be used for further trips of exploration to Mars and other parts of the solar system.
Like all of us are brimming with ideas of, how we can do this, what we can do, and so I'm pretty pleased.
At NASA Ames Research Center in Mountain View, the future looks a lot brighter than it did less than a year ago when Columbia tumbled from the skies.
The president articulated some very clear goals for us, and I can see where the rest of my career is going to be going, and the rest of all of our careers here.
Job security is just part of the payoff.
Going to lead to a lot of new technological developments, which I think are going to spawn new businesses and generate new jobs.
I think that we have issues here at home that are more important than building a colony on the moon.
There are skeptics on Capitol Hill where the money has to be approved. How much money? An extra $1 billion for starters. And then...
I don't think anybody knows what it will cost, but it could well be $1 trillion.
Dr. Charles Towns was chairman of NASA's Advisory Committee on Lunar Landings, a mission that came in on time and slightly under budget. But after 5 years, Congress decided the Apollo program was too expensive. He says the biggest barrier to a Mars expedition is not scientific.
How important is it and how much money we should spend on it? That's a difficult question.
The president only needs to convince Congress to come up with the first $1 billion. It will be up to his successors to find the rest of the money. And 3 million miles away on the red planet, Spirit is getting ready to roll. NASA officials say the Mars rover will start to maneuver off its landing platform around midnight tonight, our time. Spirit will stay parked for several days to measure the surrounding soil and rocks. After that, it's off on a zigzagging path to search for evidence that Mars once had more water and possibly even life.
The mastermind behind the Enron accounting scandal will soon head to prison. Former Enron finance chief Andrew Fastow pleaded guilty today for his role in bringing down the company. His wife also pleaded guilty on tax charges. Under the deal, Fastow will serve 10 years in prison and cooperate with authorities. He may also provide information that could implicate his former bosses, Jeffrey Skilling and Kenneth Lay. Both men say they are innocent.
What we can do is what the folks involved in this effort have been doing for the last 2 years, and that is to work like crazy to find those responsible and punish them in a way that is just and that also serves as a warning to other morally challenged executives.
Fastow will be sentenced on April 19th.
We have some political developments to report tonight. The 2004 Democratic presidential race is now down to 8. Former Illinois Senator Carol Moseley Braun has announced that she is dropping out of the race. Campaign officials say Braun plans to endorse frontrunner Howard Dean tomorrow in Iowa. Her presidential campaign never really got off the ground. Braun once served as U.S. ambassador to New Zealand.
It was a defiant gesture that's going to be very costly for one pilot. An American Airlines pilot was fined $13,000 today because he made this obscene gesture while being photographed in Brazil. Brazil has recently started photographing and fingerprinting all Americans now that the U.S. is doing the same to most foreigners entering the borders here. The airline is paying the fine, but there's no word yet on the captain's job status.
Don't have a digital camera yet? Well, you may not have a choice soon.
Plus, if you think the economy is looking better, you may want to look a bit deeper. We'll dissect some of the new numbers next.
And why this brand new house may have to be torn down almost as soon as it was built.
Tomorrow, live with State Assemblyman Mark Leno on his plan to reinstate the vehicle license fee and also gay marriage in San Francisco.
Plus, a special treat live with singer Paula West.
And the morning's top stories and updates on your commute with real-time traffic and Sky 4 all tomorrow.
On the next episode of the Dr. Phil Family.
I asked her to marry me. We eloped.
I thought I could just shape Marty right up into the person I want him to be. What was I thinking?
Next, Dr. Phil.
Tomorrow at 8 on KRON 4, the Bay Area's news station.
New BMW X3, the ultimate driving machine. Comcast Digital Cable is leading the way in HD programming. With national and local HD channels not available on satellite, like CBS 5 featuring the Super Bowl. Plus more choice with special interest, music, and local channels not available on satellite. And watch anywhere in the house with no expensive equipment to buy. For 2 weeks only, get Comcast Digital Cable for just $19.99 a month for 3 months with free installation. Call 1-877-40-CABLE before the Super Bowl.
Newts and cottage doubles or yogurt? Well, since Newts and cottage doubles has half the sugar of yogurt, the real dilemma is what to do with that yogurt. Cottage cheese with real fruit topping, that's half the sugar of yogurt. Newts and cottage doubles.
Feast for your eyes, your soul, and your right foot. Presenting the 245 horsepower V6 Nissan Altima.
A beautiful new home in Greenbrae may have to be torn down before anybody even lives in it. That's because the Marin County Planning Commission discovered that the structure was built 10 feet farther up a hill than was allowed. That commission voted unanimously that the house is illegal. The owner can appeal, but Marin County officials could require that some or even all of that house be destroyed.
An end of an era at Kodak, the company that is synonymous with film for a lot of people. Eastman Kodak plans to stop selling reloadable 35mm film cameras in North America and Western Europe. And the reason? The surge in the popularity of digital cameras. The company will continue selling film cameras in Asia, Eastern Europe, and Latin America. Kodak is also ending its advanced photo system cameras. That is the much-hyped format that was launched in 1996. To rekindle interest in consumer photography.
Today, local tech companies took center stage for investors. Business reporter Sabrina King has a rundown on the tech earnings.
Some of the biggest local tech companies reported earnings today. At first glance, the revenues look strong, but a closer look at the numbers shows some mixed news.
First off, Intel, the world's largest chip maker, announced record revenues in the fourth quarter, but investors weren't impressed. Intel stock slipped in after-hours trading. Analysts and investors wanted even better sales, convinced that the 3-year tech downturn is finally over. As Apple Computers celebrates 20 years of Mac making, the company's big sales success these days is music. Computer sales are mixed for Apple, while iPod and its iTunes sales soar. That helped the company's revenues increase about 36% compared to the same time last year. Strong cancer therapy drugs helped boost Genentech sales. Revenues for the biotech giant increased about 25% in the fourth quarter. And there's reason to Yahoo. The online internet portal says revenues more than doubled in the fourth quarter. The big moneymaker has been increased online advertising.
These earnings may be impressive, but they're not impressing unemployed tech workers. Santa Clara County's jobless rate is still higher than the state average. We'll soon see if the jobs picture is improving. New local figures come out at the end of the week. Sabrina Kane, KRON 4 News.
One of the nation's most depressed cities right here in the Bay Area, but not at all where you might think.
Plus, they are popular and expensive, but do those antidepressant drugs really work? A new report that might surprise you.
1 week on the job, Mayor Gavin Newsom not hiding from the challenge of cleaning up San Francisco streets.
Wait until you hear what he said to Phil Matier. Phil has that and Mars on his mind. Next.
Are you ready for a heart-pounding, head-spinning fight of adventure?
Oh, my God.
The Bay Area Backroads Great Adventures. Tonight at 10 on KRON 4, the Bay Area's news station.
Tonight at 11, the defense in Scott Peterson's murder trial presents a theory of how Lacey Peterson was killed. And the president wants to go. A new poll reveals how Americans feel about a trip to Mars and beyond. Tonight on KRON 4 News at 11.
The 7-passenger, electronic four-wheel drive Acura MDX. Power and safety, living in perfect harmony.
Congratulations! You've launched the pink slip virus. Your office is now infected. They'll soon trace it back to you. Good luck finding a new job. Congratulations! Congratulations!
Want to get away? Now you can with Southwest Airlines Internet Specials for just $39 to $99 when you purchase by January 19th, only at southwest.com.
You are now free to move about the country.
It's been a busy year already on the Bay Area political. Actually, let's make tomorrow a payday you won't forget. You have to work for these numbers first, though.
Hey, Carl, thanks so much for taking care of the cat, the flowers, and everything. And if there's anything you need, well, you know where we are. Ready?
Yay! Where are they going?
Oh, never-ending pancakes down at IHOP.
Right now at IHOP, it's never-ending pancake combos. You get these breakfast favorites with 2 buttermilk pancakes. Then we keep bringing you pancakes 3 at a time till you've had your fill. When the pancakes are endless, there's no telling how long you'll stay. IHOP, come hungry, leave happy.
Saturday on Henry's Garden, picking the perfect plants for your place, plus solar-powered fountains and safe sex in your garden. Saturday at 10 on Henry's Garden, following the KRON 4 Weekend News.
Closed captioning is brought to you through a generous grant from Sleep Train Mattress Centers. Your ticket to a better night's sleep.
Well, it's been a busy year, as you can tell. We're already talking here. On the Bay Area political scene, lots of new faces tackling very, very hard problems.
KRON 4's Phil Matier is here to mix it all up for us.
That's right. And hopefully, take a look at it a little differently. Well, San Jose has a new police chief. It's Rob Davis. He took his job today, and it was off to a busy start. No sooner did he get on the job than they had that home invasion and had to close down an elementary school. But we talked to him this morning about some of the long-term problems, including the budget squeeze. Here's what he had to say.
Well, clearly, the budget is going to be an issue because if with limited resources, it's not just our resources. If you're going to do good police work, you have to be involved in the community. All these different segments of the community have to come forward and pitch in their part to impact crime. So if the school...
All right, Chief, but here's the real question. Is there a good donut shop in San Jose? Chief, you know of a good donut shop down here?
I don't do donuts. Haven't eaten a donut since 1986. Donut free.
All right. Meanwhile, up here on this side of the bay, Gavin Newsom was entering his first week in office, and as usual, we sat down with him to take a little report card. And here's how it went. I was driving here this morning. I saw 3 homeless people. The streets are still dirty, and the kids aren't getting an education in the schools, Gavin. It's been, what, 4 days? Why haven't you changed
Well,
things?
I thought we solved all those things. Oh, come on, Phil. You got to give me at least 5 days.
We're going to
I
give
need
you
at least tomorrow to
I
fix
think so.
education, homelessness, housing crisis you didn't even mention.
Well,
street sweeping is happening as we speak, Phil. This is an example of leadership. All right? And we're going to work on the homeless this afternoon.
You're not missing. And he did go to work on the homelessness. As a matter of fact, George Bush's homeless czar was in town for this week, and they had a little sit down, tried to talk money. We'll wait to see if he got money. What he got was some press, okay? And so far, that's about all he's getting, his image going. Although he did, Gavin did appoint the first female fire chief, as we saw earlier this week, and he got somebody on the Board of Education, so he is definitely making moves.
He's working.
He's not the only one making moves. State Assemblyman Mark Leno, he's coming from San Francisco and did what probably could only do in San Francisco. He's proposed that San Francisco voluntarily go to the ballot and reinstate that vehicle license fee that everybody rejected and that the governor rolled back. He says San Francisco voters might be actually willing to vote it back in here, and so we could use the money to make up for our cut services. What do you think? Does that got a shot?
I was real surprised at hearing that. I want to ask you a Bush question. We've got a Republican governor in California. Bush's numbers in California are improving.
That's right.
Does he have a shot?
Let's take a look at some of that.
Okay.
Polls recently show that Bush's approval rating is now at 52%. Disapproval is at 42%. That's a marked contrast from just in September when his approval ratings were 46 and 48%. We're still waiting to see what his approval ratings are on Mars and if he can get somebody up there to vote for him, but he seems to be dead set on going there.
How about the money for that and the marriage idea and all of the other recent proposals?
Everything from immigration to going to Mars, he's proposing things left and right. Wendy, I'm not sure he's ever going to get there, but you know, in politics, a lot of times you just throw it up, especially in an election year, and you don't have to stick around and pick up the tab.
Quick, does he have a shot in
Yes,
November?
he does. I'm going to tell you something. You know, take a look at that. Arnold almost carried Los Angeles. California is in play. The Democratic strongholds are still up here in the Bay Area, but the rest of the state is in play.
Okay. Thank you, Phil.
Sorry about that, Pam.
That's no problem.
Okay.
Well, when you talk about Santa Cruz, you probably think about sun and fun and the boardwalk. So you may be surprised that Santa Cruz made the list of most stressful cities in the nation. KRON 4's Tomas Roman is live in Santa Cruz with the story. Tomas.
Pam, it's an article in Money Magazine that calls Santa Cruz one stressed-out county. Now, it ranks Santa Cruz number 13th among 114 mid-sized counties nationwide for stress. And while people here say there are some stresses, they say it's just not that bad.
I don't think so. I think some people are pretty relaxed in this county.
Suzanne says stress is not a big thing here. An article for Best Places in Money Magazine claims that Santa Cruz County is a stressed-out county. It ranks the county number 13 among 114 mid-sized cities nationwide for stress. County Fire Battalion Chief Steve Bandenheuvel.
I think every city at this point in time, based on budget constraints are stressed.
Santa Cruz County is a quiet place where couples can walk hand in hand on uncrowded streets, where surfing and sunbathing along the boardwalk is a major attraction. So how could a magazine writer rate the county so high on the stress meter?
I'm not sure that the people who wrote the article had ever visited here, and they left a lot of parts out.
True, the writer claimed never to have visited the county. He used 9 statistical criteria to rate the counties: the divorce rate, crime, commute time, cloudy days, the suicide rate, alcohol consumption, unemployment, and a few others. Being unemployed would stress out county residents. Dennis Norton is a Capitola City Council member.
It's a retirement community, so you have an awful lot of people that aren't employed. And then also it's a university town. You have the University of California here, and so that's traditional to have a high unemployment rate in an area like this.
Cloudy days wouldn't be a problem. What about crime?
Crime's low. And at least in our community, it's fairly low compared to the rest of the country.
The other criteria, like a high divorce rate, Santa Cruz County shares with the rest of the state. But the biggest stressor here for many people is traffic, especially during the commute times on Highway 17.
People drive farther to escape an area that they're working in, such as Santa Clara Valley, to come here and live.
All in all, people here don't believe that they rate a high stress score. And they say if the writer had come here, he would have known that too. Now, the article also named stressed out big cities, and 2 Bay Area cities made that list, Oakland at number 24 and San Jose at number 56. Reporting live in Santa Cruz, Tomas Roman, KRON 4 News.
Tomas, thank you.
An estimated 18 million Americans suffer from depression, and an estimated 13 million of them are taking medication to feel better. Does it work? Well, 45% of those who voted on KRON4.com want to know more. Dr. Sanjay Gupta has details in the news you choose.
How's it all? The $17 billion industry was built on people like Hunt Brown.
I had a law practice that was collapsing. I had a nonprofit organization which I ran, which wasn't getting funded. I had a wife who was leaving me, and then there was that little stock market thing that happened a while back where I bet against Amazon.com and lost a lot of money. I was waking up 3 o'clock in the morning in a complete panic.
His doctor prescribed Paxil, an antidepressant.
I walked outside one morning and the birds were singing and the sky was blue, and I thought, yeah, I remember this.
The medication is fast, for the typical patient as little as a week to feel effects. Plus, it costs half as much as talk therapy. And easy. More than half the prescriptions, like Hunt's, are written by non-psychiatrists. But it may be too good to be true. In fact, if you look at over half the drug company studies done through the 90s on all antidepressants, it shows that these drugs really work no better than sugar pills. Sort of striking. But before we jump to any conclusions, it may not be that the drugs don't work, but rather the studies weren't strong enough to show their effectiveness. Representatives of the drug industry we spoke with acknowledge effect varies from person to person, but say the medicine does help millions of people. But a large study in Canada found 80% of patients who went off the drugs relapsed within a year. That's compared to 25% in behavioral therapy. Antidepressants can have side effects. Molly Canfield has tried them all. Her sex life on Prozac?
I felt kind of like I was a nun. I could care less about it.
Affects her.
Maybe like I had too many pots of coffee, and I had trouble sleeping sometimes.
Zoloft?
Zoloft worked for a while for me, and then it seemed to just taper off.
But if you think she's sworn off medication...
It's like a diabetic who needs insulin. You wouldn't ask them to go without their insulin. People who need antidepressants and can benefit from them, it plugs in that part of you that's not there.
Dr. Sanjay Gupta, CNN, Atlanta.
Brr, doesn't quite do it justice.
Straight ahead, a lot of negative numbers in the Northeast, prompting a somewhat unusual mission for the Coast Guard. Details on that next.
Well, I'm getting a little climbing in here, getting ready for the Bay Area Backroads Great Adventure Special coming up at 10 o'clock. We're going to be climbing indoors and out. We're going to be nose to nose with shark, face to face with bears. Tell you all about it coming up. The Bay Area Backroads Great Adventures at 10 o'clock.
Dog fights. Shark bites. Bear sights. Wow. Are you ready for a heart pounding?
Man,
I got him.
Head spinning.
Nice job.
Bite of adventure? You've never seen Bay Area Backroads this extreme.
Down, McConnell.
Until now. Hold on tight for the Bay Area Backroads Great Adventures. Tonight at 10 on KRON 4, the Bay Area's news station.
Bring you your neighborhood weather.
Check out Steve Raleig's weather in the Examiner. Now free in San Francisco and San Mateo counties.
The 2004 Mitsubishi Endeavor. Automotive critics chose its performance, handling, and comfort over the Toyota Highlander. But you don't have to be a critic to love it. The Mitsubishi Endeavor. More stuff, more to feel good about. Right now, get 0% financing for 60 months on a new 2004 Endeavor. Only at your Mitsubishi retailer.
From the Neighborhood Weather Center, here's your first forecast for San Jose.
A smoky fog rises along the shore of a river in Maine as the Northeast continues in the frigid grasp of record low temperatures. Temperatures in Maine reached 7 below. The coldest of the cold, Pittsfield, Massachusetts, with a wind chill of -31. And the Coast Guard had to break up blocks of ice that had formed in Boston Harbor. In fact, it was so cold that workers at a New Hampshire ice company warmed up in the freezer. That's true. At 15 degrees, the freezer was about 30 degrees warmer than the parking lot.
Whoa. Well, you could get the chills from what Bay Area Backroads is about to show you in its Great Adventure special.
That's coming up next on KRON, but if you just can't wait, Doug McConnell joins us now with a little bit of a preview. Doug.
Okay, guys. Well, listen, it's not very cold in here. I'm doing a little climbing. I've got about 4,000 feet straight up here at Class 5 climbing in San Rafael. So I'm going to kind of lean back, come on back down. I think I'll walk down. Tell you a little bit about the special coming up at 10 o'clock. We're going to be doing a lot of climbing, indoors and outdoors. We're going to be going up the backside of the fabled Half Dome in Yosemite, the great granite face of Half Dome. And then, and now let me show you some tape on this, we're going to be flying fighter planes. KRON 4's Janelle Marie and I going mano a mano, trying to shoot each other out of the skies over the Central Valley at 10,000 feet. I'll tell you who won a little bit later on. And then I'm going to go by myself to go diving with sharks. I'm going to get nose to nose, tooth to tooth with some blue sharks off of San Diego. And we're going to meet some people who have been bitten by great white sharks, one guy twice, and he's here to tell you all about it. So we'll talk about sharks, we'll talk about airplanes, and we're going to go to Alaska a little bit later on. We're going to go see bears in Alaska, really very close, like from me to the camera. Bears fishing up there, and it's an extraordinary wildlife adventure, one of the great adventures of my life. And then after we've survived all of that, we're coming back home, and we're going to get incarcerated at Alcatraz after night, and we got all kinds of other great things coming up. So I've been kind of working up a sweat just thinking about it. That's the Bay Area.
It looks like you've been working up a sweat working too, Doug, but let me ask you one question. Which was your favorite adventure?
Oh, man, you know.
Oh, come on.
Oh, come on. Well, you know, I got to, well, you know, Janelle Marie, I mean, she is tough in the air above Lodi. We were diving, we were fighting, we were trying to shoot each other out of the sky. So who wins that contest is probably the highlight, one of the highlights of the night.
What an exciting life. All right.
Okay, Doug.
Thank you, Doug.
We're just glad you're safe. And again, the Bay Area Backroads Great Adventures show will air immediately after this newscast. That's at 10 p.m. tonight.
Well, it's 10:42 p.m. where Steve Raleigh is right now. That's 1 hour ahead.
And here is a hint from our seats here live. You have 2 minutes to guess before he fills your TV screen with, he's getting ready, as you can see here, with his 7-day forecast from the road.
Plus, you like the benefits of wine but don't like drinking it? Well, then you will like what we're about to tell you.
To bun or not to bun? That is the question. I'm Vicki Liviakis. Coming up, all the restaurants cashing in on the low-carb craze.
Tonight at 11, the defense in Scott Peterson's murder trial presents a theory of how Lacey Peterson was killed. And the president wants to go. A new poll reveals how Americans feel about a trip to Mars and beyond. Tonight on KRON 4 News at 11.
There's a place where the air is fresh, the wind is cool, and the curves are exciting, where all convertibles are turbocharged, and the sun has a very hard time keeping up. The all-new Saab 9.3 convertible. This is the state of independence, and here, convertibles deliver more than just a great view. Welcome. Visit your Saab dealer today.
Are you ready for a heart-pounding, head-spinning bite of adventure?
Oh my God!
The Bay Area Backroads Great Adventures. Tonight at 10 on KRON 4, the Bay Area's news station.
Log on to KRON4.com to vote for the news you choose. One of these 3 stories, the one with the most votes, will air tomorrow night on KRON 4 News at 9.
My cousin told me about a Class 5 this way. We're gonna take a Class 5 Rapids. Bring it on! All right, let's do it. If we take a Class 3 and a Class 2, that's like taking a Class 5, right? I'm pretty sure you're right. Yeah. Absolutely.
It'll get you there. The rest is up to you. The largest, most powerful 4Runner yet.
This KRON 4 segment is brought to you by SBC.
In 1977, an idea was planted. One day, it would lead to high-speed internet access, streaming video, and sharing digital photographs. It's been 25 years now. Today, SBC companies supply more people with high-speed DSL than anyone else in America. Obviously, the idea grew. SBC, going beyond the call.
Outside around the Bay Area right now, temperatures in the 40s under some mostly cloudy skies. You'll notice San Francisco right now at 49, Oakland at 49 degrees, and San Jose right now at 48 degrees. Temperatures are looking really good. In fact, around here too, things have been, let me put it this way. We've had some really terrific ski conditions here at Steamboat Springs. In fact, you'll notice it's right now at 9 degrees. Thank you very much, Jay. There we go. Yes, we don't pay them much, but we pay them enough to just hand us a little thermometer. Anyway, here's the story with us. Here in Steamboat Springs, we're having our Weather Summit. All the meteorologists from around the country come here, and we kind of swap the whole information thing. And so this is one of the nights that we're doing it, and so we're here to tell you a little about the forecast from Steamboat Springs. Let's get started and show you exactly what the story is in our first forecast, and show you in the morning hours. We've got some mostly cloudy skies. Watch out for the fog, though, in some of the valleys around the Bay Area. Good bet after that front has gone through that there's going to be some leftover moisture to cause some fog. Temperatures are going to be in the 40s in the Bay Area. Okay, now let's set you up with a little bit of forecast information. Let's show you the satellite picture, and you see for yourself. Front has gone through in the Bay Area. That's leaving us with some high pressure building in. That means some nice weather for us. Thursday and Friday looks to be some sunshine. We're going to get a bit of a break from the wet stuff here in the Bay Area. What will happen, though, unfortunately, is that high kind of migrates. We're going to see some more rain coming up for the weekend. And, you know, it's not necessarily a time that we need it. Take a look at some of the stats over the rain season. I know this is our 3 or 4 months in which we're supposed to get it, but you see for yourself that, the rain is really starting to total up. Take a look at some of the percentages in the Bay Area then. We're on either side of about 120% of normal. Anywhere from Santa Rosa, you'll see there at 124%, all the way down to San Jose at about 117% or so. All right, let's talk about your immediate forecast, though, and enjoy some of the sunshine for the next couple of days. High temperatures, the way I see it, is will generally be about where we should be at this time of the year. We're looking at upper 50s, such as San Francisco at 59. San Rafael will be at 59 degrees. And, you know, for that matter, go ahead and slide down. You notice in the peninsula and down into the South Bay, temperature's pretty close, too. Redwood City at 60. San Jose at 60 degrees as well. All right, Maestro, orchestra, please. How about that 7-day around the Bay? You'll notice in Thursday and Friday's forecast, I've got some mostly sunny skies and temperatures pretty mild, right near 60 degrees. How about a chance of showers on Saturday coming up? Now, it does look like we'll start to see probably late Saturday into Sunday, some rain again visiting the Bay Area. In fact, on Sunday, we'll probably end up with some rain for Sunday and Monday here, and temperatures starting to cool as we head into the first part of the week. Well, I've just been told from this little thing that we call an IFB from my producer that I'm just about out of time. And as it turns out, a very good choice, because a music concert has let out. And now we're talking about anywhere from 21 to 27-year-olds going to a music concert and now getting out. Guys, back to you. Good timing.
Well, wait a minute, Steve.
You need a hat.
Steve,
now you see why the timing is about perfect.
These are meteorologists
studio.
from all over the country who give us our forecast.
You can tell by a kid that looks like that.
Yeah, Steve.
Can you hear that on the mic? Can you hear them yelling?
But are you guys having
okay, because I can't tell because I got the little lavalier microphone on.
Are you guys having a weather person's party there?
No, these weather people don't party that hard. Only college kids that are on break or on a ski trip at a music concert party that hard.
You know, now in the beginning when you started doing this, or at least since I've been here at KRON, you used to be, tell us how this was all weather oriented, and you used to talk about El Nino and stuff. Now you are getting progressively more relaxed, we notice, with your, how should we say?
Let me put it this way. When about 25 or 30 kids are walking by liquored up and ready to scream into your microphone, you better be relaxed. Otherwise, things could really get seriously out of whack.
All right, Steve Rowley. Watch
Watch yourself up there, Colorado.
Okay. For your health tonight, a new study sheds some new light on teenage drinking. While we're talking about students, the study has some interesting data on how teenagers may deal with hangovers compared to adults. Researchers found that adolescent rats have hangovers that are more mild and they recover more quickly from getting drunk than adult rats do. The fact that younger rats don't feel quite as bad may foster a sense of invulnerability. Researchers believe that is true in humans. It may encourage adolescents to drink more and more frequently, which could lead to alcohol abuse as adults. And not drinking may not necessarily mean foregoing the health benefits of wine. Researchers in Italy say that they are working on a pill that produces all of the health benefits of a glass of wine without the alcohol. Red wine in moderation has been thought, or in some studies shown, to help reduce the risk of heart disease. Recent studies have shown that antioxidants in wine may help reduce the risk of some cancers.
Do you feel like you can't reach for a donut or a cracker or a cookie without feeling that twinge of guilt anymore? Has the world gone low-carb crazy? Well, we sent KRON 4's Vicki Liviakis out to taste test the best in high-protein type cuisine.
Sharks like a high-protein diet. Lions prefer their meat rare. Likewise, humans, where the hottest trend is lean and mean. Low carb, high protein, anything Atkins. Doritos is now making a low carb corn chip. Even the all-American burger. To bun or not to bun? That is the question.
Oh, yeah. Here she comes.
Burger joints jumping on the low carb bandwagon by removing the very thing that holds a burger together. I'm looking for the bunless burger. You know, the low.
You mean Whopper without bun?
This is Burger King's bunless Whopper. Oh, kind of messy there. Be sure to ask for lots of napkins. On to what's in at In-N-Out. What's the bunless burger that you have? What's it called? It's called the protein?
Protein style.
They call it protein style, although people like French fry enthusiast Robin Cutshaw just call it kooky.
I'm actually on the anti-Atkins diet. More carbs is better.
Exotic dancer Christine Hurd keeps the weight off by moving around a lot.
The only thing that I'm really worried about more or less is getting mad cow disease than really getting fat.
And for those concerned about mad cow and their waistlines, there's Ace Wasabi's rock and roll sushi, where the chefs will whip up.
We're protein friendly, sushi, maki rolls.
You gotta know a trend is catching on when even sushi is going low carb. But wait a minute, sushi without rice? What's up with that?
We've noticed customers asking for rolls with no rice and also ordering a ton of fish and ton of food and leaving just the rice on the plates.
What will happen to all that rice? Those unused buns? As they say, let the chips fall where they may. In San Francisco, Vicki Liviakis, KRON 4 News.
Well, a certain buzz in Oakland tonight about a young man just out of high school and why this famous former tennis player now says he took steroids. Gary is next.
And Tom is back with a look at what we're working on for 11.
All right, Pam, Wendy, as mentioned earlier, a car has gone over a cliff in the East Bay. A rescue is going on right now. We'll have the update for you at 11 o'clock. And you've heard about the president's vision for the future of space exploration. Are Americans in the mood for an expensive space trip? Those stories and a survey coming up at 11 o'clock.
Mornings can be hectic, but there's always time for a healthy breakfast. Cream of wheat gives your family calcium they need. Cream of wheat, it just might be the most comforting part of the morning.
Right now, over half our suits and sport coats are on sale, plus hundreds of pants, sweaters, shoes, shirts, and outerwear, 20 to 50% off. Now that's a sale. I guarantee it.
The Men's Warehouse Winter Sale.
This KRON 4 segment is brought to you by your Honda dealer.
This time.
It has a fold-down third-row magic seat, dual sliding doors, and a government 5-star crash safety rating. But go ahead and tell people you bought it because you have kids.
Bye. Bye. We'll call you when we get there.
the Odyssey from Honda. Because parents are people too.
Good evening, everybody. 49er quarterback Jeff Garcia was arrested early this morning on suspicion of drunk driving. Garcia attended a San Jose Sharks game last night, and he apparently had some drinks at a bar near San Jose State. At 1:50 in the morning, he was pulled over on suspicion of drunk driving by campus police. Garcia spent the night in jail. He was released at 9:30 a.m. What's that, Jace? Okay, and we're going to hear a few words for the second time in this broadcast from Jeff Garcia.
I take on my responsibility as a role model very seriously, and I understand the actions or the responsibilities that somebody in my position sets within this community. I'm extremely embarrassed for my family, for the San Francisco 49er organization.
All righty, and once again, that's how it breaks down that Garcia had a couple of drinks near the San Jose State campus, and as we said again, he was released this morning. And when you do a talk radio show, you get everybody's opinion on it, and I guess I see too many news people get all excited and foaming at the mouth. Hey, here's a big-name guy. Let's really drill him against the wall. But here's a guy, if you have a ledger of all the good things he's done in a community, all the money he's donated, all the public appearances that he makes for free, I think he deserves one without a bunch of sweaty news people ready to hang him against the wall. The Oakland Raiders are now the only NFL team without a head coach. Lovie Smith was hired today by the Chicago Bears, replacing Dick Geron. Four-year deal, contract worth $5.4 million. You know he can coach when your first name is Lovie and you're yelling at pros, so good for Lovie Smith. The NFL has 15 new finalists for the Hall of Fame. John Elway, you know he's going in first year of eligibility, second all-time in passing behind Dan Marino. And how about this guy, Barry Sanders? It's going to be interesting to see if Barry Sanders goes in on the first ballot. Not that he's not a great talent, but the way he left the game somewhat prematurely, still, eventually he's a Hall of Famer. January 31st in Houston, Texas, prior to the Super Bowl, they'll announce the new Hall of Famer. Pro basketball's most talked about player is in the Bay Area. He goes to work tomorrow night. It is LeBron James getting ready for the Warriors and the Cleveland Cavaliers. He's asked about losing a lot right now.
You can't never get used to the losses, you know.